Welcome back to the Dumbass class with me, the Dyslexic Gamer, as we carry on our series of Dark Heresy games with our GMJ. So I'll let him take it away.
Hello and welcome back to this lovely little campaign that we're having, season 2 in fact, of Man and Monster, my self-designed campaign of Dark Heresy, with of course some inspiration drawn from other places. So last we left off in the campaign itself is a point that we didn't really get to discuss in the recap, but the fact that Magnus was just about to, well, sort of interrogate the traitorous Sergeant Kroon. And I believe that's where we shall pick it up now.
So Magnus has Sergeant Kroon dragged over to the crash ship. He's got him sat up, and Magnus takes his sword out of its sheath, steps away from Sergeant Kroon about where his feet end. He puts his sword in the ground, and he sort of goes down on his haunches and kneels down and lights up a low Alicia and Sister Latilla remove the device from out of your cranium. Now,
What they did?
yeah.
That they mean it's out?
Yeah, it's out. So you can talk freely, and you know that nothing bad will happen to you for the moment.
You've got him handcuffed behind his back, right? Or not?
I believe he's handcuffed to the front. If not,
Okay,
Magnus would have moved them to the front.
Okay, his hands, like, he moves his arms almost up. It's like, that's some good news you're giving me now, but I can't really give you a hug with these.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Now, at the moment, you're a traitor. You've gone against us, and you didn't even attempt to warn us or to get.
Well,
all you had to do was say that you felt sick, and I would have ensured that you got medical attention. I don't want any of my team not performing at 100%. You had options. Now, the rest of the team are gonna come over here, and they're gonna want their answers, well, answering truthfully. And if you do this, if you give us everything that we need, I'll ensure that you get the Emperor's mercy. I will make sure that you're not branded a traitor. and I'll leave you here as stumps for the creatures to devour. And then your soul will be, well, your soul will be burned somewhere else, somewhere much worse than this.
I'll die fighting the enemies of the Emperor.
Magnus stands up, draws his sword, hits the microbead on his ear. If I could have you all come over here now. Sergeant Kroon seems to be willing to give us the information that we seek. And I think all of y'all should have a say in whether what his punishment should be.
We'll head in, and she's going to stand behind Sergeant Kroon, and she'll remain silent.
I thought it set Sergeant Kroon up against the giant crash ships. You can't exactly stand behind him.
Okay, then I'll stand to the side.
You can lean up against the ship, I should imagine.
Yeah, she can do that, but she's not going to be able to stand behind him.
Yeah, I'll just be leaning to the... I'll just be on the side of Sergeant Kroon.
Sister Sarah, Brother Felicia, I think y'all should be a part of this as well.
On my way.
Have no words to describe the anger at your betrayal.
Lumen and Ulfthane are still standing a bit of miles away, not sure if they should come closer.
Magnus will, if he sees them looking over, he will kind of put his hand up and gesture for them to, they don't need to be a part of this. But then once the group has gathered.
Okay, once you make that gesture, Lumen walks off, so... Now, actually, he's gonna walk for a bit, and then when he's far away from Ulfthane, he spreads his entire wingspan and just flies away.
As Magnus turns round to the other group, you will just hear him mutter, "God, Emperor, help us. I'm working with a mutant." Right. We're all gathered here because we need to decide upon Sergeant Kroon's fate. We have answers, and he has some of the questions, I imagine. Like, for one, when did you start this betrayal? When did you turn coat?
You mean the other way around? They forced me to work for them when they captured me.
What did you get out of the arrangement, Sergeant Kroon?
Okay, so you want to scrutiny fellowship that? Okay.
Yeah, I
Jay,
got
you've
scrutiny
gone
fellowship.
roboty as well.
He. Is it fellowship or perception? Please?
That was fellowship.
Okay.
You can tell by the fact he's only 33.
As far as you can tell, he's still.
Right. As this is happening, I'll start casting Mindling. It's Siren 4.
Okay.
Oh shit, the extreme good stuff.
Good job.
He needs to resist with what?
Willpower.
Willpower. I get a -10, but he doesn't. Oh, which means my actual target was 73. Sorry.
Ulfthane is pretty competent in
Oh
this.
no, it's rolled with a -10.
Okay.
It rolled plus -10 plus 10. Now you assume the plus 10 was because of side focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you put in like with focus power test like a -10, it will always roll with that -10.
Okay.
Just mouse over your target to see.
And it's degrees of success, right? He you beat him with several degrees of success, so
Yeah, I think you just take your degrees of success away from my degrees.
Was
yeah.
this
So he got 1 degree of success, so he takes away 1 degree of yours. So you had 5 degrees of success, meaning it's lowered to 4.
I imagine that happened when Magnus said, "And what did you get out of the arrangement?"
Okay. So, Ulfstein, are you trying to yank his mind, again from the previous question, or are you going to try to discern what is his answer, and if it's truthful for his next question?
The previous one.
Where
What did you
exactly
get out of the agreement?
are we? Are we in the lander?
we're
No,
outside by the ship.
You're up against the crashed cruiser.
Basically, my question is how far away from me is Oftain? Because if he's 5 meters or closer,
He's far. He's not that close. We're all kind of stood, and he's like maybe
Okay.
40, 50 meters away.
okay, no. I'm just making sure he shouldn't take penalties then because of
Yeah.
my
Yeah, we know.
stuff.
Okay. So, is there anything particular you're trying to figure out about what his answer was? Because
I'm just trying to find out what he's thinking.
I'll say what thought reading actually does because it's actually quite vague.
Yeah, but no. Here's the thing. Are you guys talking loud enough for Ulftain to be able to hear the discussion, or is he just going to be able to read his thoughts?
Well, I don't think Magnus is quiet.
No, Magnus would be. He wouldn't be quiet about this. Not on a world like this.
Like even when Felicia's like talking quietly, it's with that whole the steel in your voice of "I am pissed," and it's the type of talking where it carries.
Yeah,
Star rating 4, I can cast this from 80 meters away, by the way.
yeah. You're about 40 meters away, and this is why I'm asking: are they speaking like regular conversational tone, or are they actually shouting? Because of 40 meters away, they need to be shouting for you to hear them properly. Or you're going to need to make
Magnus isn't shouting. He is being loud, but he wouldn't be shouting and spitting.
That would mean he would be only able to get at most several, like maybe one or two words about each question. And
I mean, we have a
Yanka
test for this.
and Yanka isn't speaking that loudly either, so he's not going to be able to get Yanka's answers at all.
I was gonna say we have a test for this. Awareness is one of the subtypes of awareness is to listen to stuff far enough away. I'm just finding
Yeah.
it quickly.
If he wants to roll awareness for this, he can. If he wants to like fully listen in, but if he just wants to read Yanka's thoughts, then what
I'm
thought?
just reading his thoughts.
Okay. So
Essentially, it's
Yeah,
like
okay.
what he's thinking of and stuff, but like more
what
than
he's
that.
thinking of.
And like what he's
Okay,
remembering
so
and
what-
all that stuff.
Okay, so what he's thinking of at the moment.
Yeah.
You see a sort of image of him strapped to a chair with a woman in a with a woman in a complete just full body suit which you can't you can't recognize the materials, also hazy because you're reading his memory, in front of him, and then you get images of him being equipped with some sort of thing on his arm, and him being shown a lander. and then Yank just touching the lander, like, and then going inside. So as for the question that was asked to Yanka, the answer Yanka gives is, well, they would give me the thing on my arm. They would.
I mean, this, and Felicia's gonna like pull it out because she should have took it during surgery.
Yeah.
He has no equipment on him. We stripped him of
Yeah.
everything. His armor,
Yeah.
he's just in his normal
Yeah.
clothes.
They promised me I would get a lander. And they wouldn't kill me. As long as I did what they said, they wouldn't kill me.
And what exactly did they ask of you for these boons, these gifts that they gave you?
My original task was to keep an eye on you guys, keep you safe, Magnus, and make sure that the Rycones could find the hideout of the Gene Stealers. The second task they gave me was largely the same, although they wanted more information. And the third task they gave me, well, that was after you guys called me, they told me to organize the defenses to keep you on the ship, which did not go well.
And how many times did you meet with their operatives? How many times did you pass off information whilst we were in the field?
They out of character question, did you guys find the microbead in this other ear?
Yes.
Okay, so he will have noticed it's gone. Well, back on the field, they wanted me to check in at least once every day, and apart from that, maybe like when we were on the ship, like they didn't really get anything from me, and then past few hours, what just happened? They it's pretty much all the way through telling me exactly what to do.
Sergeant Kroon, what happened to the astropath that we were assigned by our interrogator?
They told me to keep you guys away from him. And I'm assuming they got rid of him.
So you saying you had no part in the disappearance?
Nothing of my direct effort, no. Just told to keep you guys away.
I don't believe you. Not for a second.
I don't know. This is gonna be...
Do I get a bonus to my scrutiny because I know for a fact that he followed?
Now
You have a suspicion to believe he's lying, so I'll give you a +5.
I'm gonna fate that. Oh.
he appears to be fully telling the truth. Like, Felicia, as far as you can think, like, okay, so he followed, but maybe he kept us away by diverting the astropath to somewhere else instead of keeping us away directly.
It's even more disgusting.
Sergeant Croon, why at no point in this entire ordeal did you not come to me and inform one of us? Hell, it didn't have to be me, but I put the most goddamn effort in. I mean, what the hell are we doing this for? We're meant to have each other's back, and you're just here playing each side, telling us you were forced to? You don't get gifts when you're forced to, soldier. Ugh, you're... Or is this how the Navy treats their operatives? No trust in the Navy, is that it? Magnus doesn't even wait for an answer. He turns round, like, flicks his low stick down, lights another. You can inform me of your decisions, but I say we execute him as a traitor. And Magnus will stomp off.
An implant such as the one you had may have been able to keep you from telling us, but there was nothing to stop you breaking the implants when you knew that you had to go against the Inquisition in any form. I've seen...
You guys have no idea what I went through. If you want to execute me as a traitor, fine.
Truly, I
Do
know
it then.
what you went through. And then Felicia's gonna push back her hood. See these scars? It's likely that I would have had more had your plan succeeded. These were the scars I got the first day I met all of you. So, you wish to say I know nothing. I went from being merely a member of the Mechanicus to nearly dying in the space of a day. The fact
He
that
just looks at you unimpressed.
In fact, I've been behind, been forced to catch up with everything that you can do in the space time I've had is nothing short of a miracle. Do you think that the mechadendrites are easy to implant?
He nudges towards the thing you're holding in your hand. You think all versions they have of that stuff is lethal?
I'm well aware that not all of it is lethal. Just like I'm aware that there are things that are much more painful than just mere Volator implants.
He'll just keep staring you right in the eyes.
Sergeant Croon, seeing as all this gear you currently have, who did you answer directly to?
One captured me.
Elaborate, please.
The assassin.
Yeah. Her.
So,
Never even saw
what
her
is
face.
what is her role in all of this? She serves House Rykone, that much is certain. But what is their end game?
I don't know. That would
Did
tell
you get
you
a
what to
name?
do. No name. Didn't even get to see her face. She always wore that full suit. Two times I met her personally. Always the full suit.
And always answer directly to her, no one else?
Alona. And we were in the base for there. Though, no, not sure if this is true. Just me finally being able to think about this, but I think she might have actually outranked Alona.
Of course she did. You don't
Interesting.
employ an asset as trained as that. to someone of such low rank. Someone like that, they work for the higher levels of the organization.
Out of character, is it possible for me to record this conversation?
Yeah.
Felicia's
then.
probably recording it on the data slate at times.
Yeah, Littlewood we have been recording the entire conversation. Were you aware of the cyberized gene stealer?
No.
Lies. You'd have had to have some inkling. Felicia's mad. Tech heresies took place here.
I had no effing clue what they were doing. I didn't even know they had the damn corpses. How the f was I supposed to know? All I was given was orders to carry out, or they would kill me and kill all of you as well.
Sergeant Kroon, do you embrace the light of the Emperor?
Clearly not.
Sergeant Kroon?
Doing what I was told was the only option I saw. That means in your eyes I abandoned the Emperor, then fine, so be it.
Well, Sergeant Kroon, what I want to know is, do you have anything to say to us that you think could aid us? You just said that you were only following orders. I am inclined to believe you, even if I do not like the outcome. I never harbored animosity towards you. I actually considered you a friend. So tell me, is there anything we should know?
There's one thing. I kept putting importance on Magnus. Always Magnus was the priority. He was to be kept safe. He was to be kept safe, whatever the cost. I was to sacrifice all of you and myself before he would suffer any harm. Or before I was to take any measure to avoid him getting an inkling of what was going on. And I was told to, if I failed, take my own life in the process. Because they assured me that if I failed before they were ready, and I did not kill myself, they would make sure that they would kill me in a way far more agonizing than I could ever imagine.
I reckon that might be due to his noble bloodline.
Yeah,
Look at
probably.
All I know is that a few days ago, that order was retracted. Whatever they were doing, for which I had to keep you safe at all costs, it appears they were done.
I thought we let others judge his soul. Clearly he's not been using it.
He just, as you say that, he just gives you a foul look, like, and then just looks away from you.
Alicia, if you don't mind, please keep those comments to yourself. They are, well, they do not help in this interrogation. Sister Sarah, do you have anything you would like to ask Sergeant Kroon?
No. Never liked you, Inca, I'm not gonna lie. You were an annoyance at best. But even then, I still thought you had more in you. You have shamed your uniform. There's nothing more to say.
I do not care about your judgment. The Emperor
Alicia?
knows his own.
The Emperor
Magnus?
does indeed know his
Alicia,
own.
do you have any further questions for Sergeant Kroon?
None that he'll answer willingly. I think Magnus should take over from here.
Magnus, do you have any further questions?
I don't. In fact, I think I've heard all I can stand from Sergeant Kroon.
I'm gonna draw my bolt pistol and rest it at my side.
It's not worth a shot.
I'm gonna look at everybody. I'm gonna look at Sarah, to see if she approves.
Felicia's right. Conserve the ammo.
I'm gonna look at Magnus.
Sister,
Magnus,
by all means.
Aldo,
For all I care, you'd leave me out in the desert to die if you want to make it quick.
Magnus, out of respect to this former comrade, I'll give him a quick death at the hands of a friend. If any of you would like to say the final words, please do so now.
Sergeant Kroon, I honestly thought of you as one of my men. Up until you shot at me, I'd only had suspicions, and I had hoped to be proven wrong on those suspicions, that perhaps you were a double agent of such. But you've damned yourself in these actions you've taken. And I'll leave it up to the sister to decide if you should be branded a heretic or allowed the God Emperor's mercy. Allow him to judge and weigh up your soul. Sister. And Magnus will turn around and walk off.
I'm gonna wait to see if Sarah and Felicia do the same and leave me alone with him, or if they're going to stay and watch.
I think that it's not worth the round. Just let me use this, and Felicia will eject the Desolate Power Blade.
No, Felicia, if you do not respect your former comrade, I do.
That is
Please.
why I'm using this. That's why I suggest using this.
Please let me handle this. Do you have any last words to Sergeant Kroon? That's all I ask.
None. And I truly think you're a fool for wasting ammunition in these times.
Sarah?
And Felicia's gonna just walk off.
Felicia's right, you know. We're gonna
Perhaps.
need a lot more ammunition for it to get out of here.
For
And I'm just gonna walk away.
use me as a meat shield then. Theft do I care.
Sergeant Kroon,
All of you already consider me a damn traitor.
Sergeant Kroon, do you have any last words?
The Emperor knows his own.
I'll point the gun at his head. I hope your soul finds its way to the light of the Almighty God Emperor. And I'll pull the trigger.
Okay. Did you put the pistol actually up against his head, or are you taking a bit of distance?
Seeing as this is a goddamn bolt pistol, I'll take a little bit of a distance, but I mean, close enough. So
How much of a distance?
how much would it be safe? I'm a sister of battle. I should know
Within
this.
point blank.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, then within 3 meters. If 3 meters is a safe distance.
Okay. Make an awareness test.
Ah, come on.
I'm still fairly close. I've just like walked slightly away. So can I make the test too?
Yeah. If you're looking at Sergeant
I'm-
Yanka, when she pulls the trigger,
Oh.
you may make an awareness test.
I re-roll that.
I'm afraid that. Actually, I won't, because Felicia can tell me whatever she needs.
Okay. Felicia, you're not sure what, but almost for a split second, it's as if Yanka suddenly isn't there anymore, and then the bolt round explodes, and blood and flesh still splatters everywhere. It's most definitively no head left, and the lifeless body wearing the uniform of the Imperial Navy falls sidewards. Quite definitively dead.
May the God Emperor keep your soul, Sergeant Croon. I do not harbor any ill will towards you. I'll holster my bolt pistol and I'll leave.
Felicia will relay it to everyone, like as she walks over, about what happened.
Yeah, for us. So to clarify, for a split second, it almost looked like the clothes were still there, but they were empty. At least that's what it looked like for a split second.
Like when a displacer field activates.
Not entirely like that, because that would mean the clothes would be gone as well.
Well, wait, before... Can we retcon so before he dies I get to read his mind, like, one last time?
Sure.
I mean, because you could have just said you didn't want to interrupt, so when did you want to read his mind?
Like, when I can see that he knows he's gonna die.
Okay.
Right as his eyes like go white and you can see that his pupils dilate. Right then, just
Oh no.
No, like a few seconds
did
before
not-
that, just when he knows he's gonna die. Not, I don't
When
want
he
demons in
knows
my
he's
brain.
gonna die, that is right after his discussion with Magnus. Because Magnus made it clear that he was gonna die.
that is quite true.
that's
That's
actually-
cast at Psi rating.
So that's technically before the interrogation fully started, because that's when he knew he was gonna die.
Oh, well, like after the interrogation, but before there's a gun to his head, essentially.
Okay, so when she raises her bolt pistol.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
when Felicia was like trying to hand up to Magnus, she was trying to get interrogation rolls in at character.
That means causing
Um,
him pain, and I don't
Okay.
want to cause him pain.
Okay, so he needs to roll willpower to resist.
That's Psi rating 5 I casted at, by the way, so a decent chunk of information.
I know you get secretive information. Not it's degree of success decides how much you get, and psi rating is how secretive it is. So like psi rating 10, you just stole the deepest thoughts of his mind.
Doesn't seem like a.
Yeah, so you
That's
get
good.
3 degrees of success on a psi rating 5 mind link. What sort do you get out of Sergeant Crew? Is there anything specific you would like to know?
I'm just kind of just curious as to what a man thinks before he dies.
That is dark.
Damn.
So is that
Been on a demon world for the last 40 years. What do you want?
is that a So are you attempting to read his surface thoughts about
No,
that, or
the deeper thoughts.
the deeper thoughts?
I mean, to be honest, though, it perfectly fits Octane. Like, this is the sort of shit Octane would do back in the day.
He's really
Okay,
dark
so
and just like not
first,
a weird, nice
first
person.
you get a bit of a glance of what his surface thought is. His surface thought is still saying the Emperor knows his own. But as you go deeper, you dive into the emotion that's behind that. You dive into a mind used to plotting, used to scheming, has been deceiving his friends for more than a month at the very least. And you get just a bit of a taste of the emotion of vengeance, of hatred. Not malevolent in the full sense, but very much giving of that almost bitter taste in your mind. And then the moment you would still be able to hold on to his thoughts the moment she pulls the trigger, but just the connection snaps.
That would work. quite
Did Felicia disclose that Yinka vanished for a second?
She, I just said that, yeah, she effectively, like, she describes what was just happening at that point as you hit him with the bolt.
I'll walk back to the corpse, collect blood, and is there any test I can do to check if the sample matches Yinka's? Because I
Can I
was the
look
medic
at-
for a long time and I did keep a journal.
Can I look at Yinka's heraldry as well, like his awards and stuff?
Okay, you can.
As for my path, Jane,
Just
Ooh.
roll me a Medicaid test.
would the medkit help?
Medkit would not help.
Okay.
You run some tests. You have DNA samples of all of your team members.
Yes,
And
for sure.
This is Sergeant Kroon's DNA. This is blood.
This is indeed Sergeant Kroon's blood, but I'm gonna grab the body, drag it to a whatever passes by a table around this blood box, and I'm gonna perform another autopsy on the corpse.
Okay.
Magnus will microbead over to you at one point as you're probably dragging the body around or you're doing your DNA testing.
I'm
and
not gonna be
ask
dragging him.
how you judged him. Like
I'll be
technically,
respectful.
because you're a sister of battle, if you've judged him that he should be like forgiven in the Emperor's eyes, it means a lot. So Magnus would like to know how you judged him.
Magnus, Sergeant Kroon was a tortured man in his own way, much like all of us are. And I do know what he performed was a grave sin. He had a bomb to his head. I say let the Emperor himself judge him. I would have absolved the sins of a former friend, out of respect to him.
I can't say I'd do the same, sister, but if that's your judgment, then the God Emperor will weigh up his rights and wrongs, I guess. I don't really want to know why you're gonna poke around in his innards now, but
Well, Magnus. Felicia just told us he vanished for a few. I'd just like to be sure before I give him a proper burial.
fair enough then. I'll help you dig the hole. I suppose I can at least do that much.
I'm gonna look at Magnus and say, I was probably just gonna burn him at the pyre, Magnus. If his corpse was ravaged by demons, if that would, well, not be respectful. Besides, if it
Felicia,
were you, would you want to be buried in the demon world?
Felicia will go take stock of the inventory on the ship, of like Yanker's equipment, that kind of thing.
Well, once I'm gone, I don't care what happens to my remains. If quite likely I could have been eaten by an orc, so I wouldn't want my men dying just to bring a meat sack back. So, for me, it doesn't matter. I thought I'd fall on the battlefield, so, eh.
Think of it as not for yourself then, Magnus, but think of it as for the rest of the people who knew you. Don't you think they would be saddened and enraged by the desecration of your body?
Don't get me wrong, sister. I know of many a noble who's had a pompous ceremony for their remains to be entombed somewhere. It's just not my idea of a soldier's death. We don't get reclaimed. But if y'all wish to burn him, then by all means, Magnus looks around. Is there any shrubbery or anything around that would burn? Any wood, perhaps?
There is a big ass ship that probably had fuel at some point. So,
We have to go inside and get the Prometheum.
Oh yes, Prometheus.
Prometheum, very important, like his corpse would have been. I was thinking, like, Felicia had some very clever. Felicia was going to be like, when she killed him, she was going to take him off and have him prepped to be a servitor when we got home.
That's like very far-flung plan. I
Yeah, it's
hope
why
you
she
know
didn't
that.
argue much more when it's like, yeah, I'm putting him down for respect.
There's even a couple of trees around here. Not everything around here is a complete desert wasteland. It appears that after the crash, yeah, there was a giant fucking fireball here, but from the ashes, there's been some regrowing of plants, although slightly warped. Trees at parts just grow sideways and then grow upwards again, but
Magnus looks at what's there and turns to the sister Latilla. Y'all might know this, I don't. How long would a corpse take to burn with a flamer?
A little bit, but if I separate his organs from his body and then do a little bit of magic, he should burn rather quickly.
Well, none of our party can use a flamer, and I happen to have myself possession of one with a full canister. So, if y'all
Actually-
wish, I offer it up as best
I'm gonna
I can.
check out of character, because I do believe that when we become Sisters of Battle, we learn how
Yeah.
to use
It's a
flamer.
sister battle training.
Speak for yourself. They never taught me that.
Or is it maybe just bolt training? Let me check.
It's both training.
Then,
On
yeah, I don't
Adepta
know.
Sororita, you get to pick Laz or Flame.
That much I know.
With Tactica Imperialis, body burns.
I think he meant if any of us knew how to use the flamer, we could use the flamer.
No. I imagine it's a stationary target. It's a body. Literally, would a full clip of flamer fuel burn his body to crisp and ashes? I imagine it would.
Probably, yeah.
sounds plausible.
Magnus starts digging, like, not a really deep ditch, but he just starts scraping the earth away, and probably near a wall or near part of the crashed ship. Just somewhere for like the Prometheum to gather as it burned. We pile him up, I guess.
Also, our character, Latella took chain as her starting thing.
You get chain as
Get you no
sword
matter
to
what.
start. You get chain and either
Chain or
Laz.
Laz.
There you go. I'll go perform an autopsy. Would the medkit work now, Jay? I mean, it has tools.
If not, Felicia can do the autopsy, and her mechadendrite is a surgery suite.
Yeah, tempering maybe, but I mean, I'm inspecting the body as a full, autopsy, as in what happened to this body, other than the fact that it lost its head. But also, would I have gotten any bonuses?
No.
Okay.
Making sure that he didn't have any implants.
He has no implants, but as you open up his coat and everything, there is one thing you notice missing. When you first search his body to, like, get off any weapons he had on him, you notice he had a small stuffed bear. And actually a small little doll for, like, little girls on him. And that's no longer there.
Oh, it's there. I actually recognise it.
I'm
There
gonna
is,
write down
however,
on my
still
notes.
there is, however, still one thing of that was with that doll. Like, when you first looked at it, you paid no special attention to it, but there's still a small letter in his, on the inside of his pocket. It says, from your little sister Faye."
Oh. Little does Magnus know that Faye is on the other side of the galaxy.
Nope, he does not know.
None of us do.
Yeah. I'm gonna still just I'll perform a thorough autopsy, and if I have to do it twice, I'll do it twice, just to make sure I didn't do any mistakes.
At least we'll take the letter and move it away from any blood.
the... Well, there's already a little bit of blood on the letter now, but...
You'll clean it if she has to.
Okay.
Well, if
As you
Which
autopsy the body, you more closely also check several things about him. Like, tattooed over his left pec, there is a part of a scripture of the, well, of the code of the Imperial.
I was gonna say, you can't really take notes at the moment because you've got to get both hands in there.
It's,
Like, Felicia can take notes because her surgery is like coming out of her back and doing it on its own.
I can leave my data slate open while I'm taking notes, as in I'm saying stuff to the data slate to record.
um,
Okay. Wait. His body seems to be entirely him. That's setting off alarms in my head already. Because
It
I'm
should.
kind of
It's-
I'm kind of a specialist on that
it-
matter. Would that
it
trigger
matches.
something?
It matches all medical records about Surgeon Janker.
Okay,
It's
so
not like
It
Grace,
turns out I become
who has-
Frankenstein.
Yeah, it's not like Grace, who has literal acid blood.
I mean, I'd
Yeah.
imagine that would be in your medical records. The highly
I'm a bit-
classified records.
I'm just saying because I do have a big bulk, and I did autopsies on these kind of people before. Okay,
There is no gene stealer corruption you can detect.
is there anything else you can tell me?
Clearly didn't get enough fibre in his diet.
I would like to roll another Medicaid before I close him up, just to be sure. But I mean,
Are you looking for something specific about him?
I don't know what would I be looking. Is there a general autopsy, because that's exactly the point of an autopsy, to find anything out of, to find something wrong in the body.
I mean,
Um,
technically, an autopsy to find out how he died. We answered that question about a couple of minutes ago.
No, have we?
That's not all an autopsy is meant for. But
you make several tests about his bloodstream still, and it does appear as if his blood was pumping around a lot slower in his final moments. As if he was already deliberately slowing his heartbeat, knowing there was no use in, like, fully staying alive even.
can I roll
on his
another
body?
Medicaid before I close him up then? If there's nothing else?
Sure, if you want to.
Yeah. Because I really want to make sure.
So at least someone would know what to do with it.
Hot diggity damn!
Damn! That hit the spot.
As you go
Jay?
to close him up,
Tell me your secret.
something weird occurs to you. The body is like you just cut it open, and you know he was already like slowing down his own heartbeat and everything, but this is strange, almost as if rigor mortis is setting in too quickly. His body's already stiffening up far sooner than it actually should have.
One of the first things I would have done would have been to check his liver temperature to know when he died. Is the body cold already?
Body's not fully cold.
How long did this body died? How long ago?
I'm gonna say you killed him about 45 minutes ago. So.
And does the body tell me that he died 45 minutes ago, or is the timing wrong according to the body temperature?
The body temperature would tell you that's how long ago he died, but the stiffness would suggest that he would already be dead double that time at the very least.
Curious. Anything else?
No.
I'll close the body up and tell my findings to the group. Also, I will approach Magnus if I had seen Felicia give him the letter.
Well, considering I never made a Medicaid roll, I probably handed it over while you were doing the autopsy.
Okay.
And then went and did inventory on the ship.
I'll still approach Magnus because would I have seen that you took the letter?
You'd notice it's not in the coat anymore.
Okay.
You
I'll
could
approach
reasonably
you.
assume from there that I picked it up.
I'll approach you first. Felicia. Sergeant Kroon had a letter on his pocket. Did you take
Gave it
it?
to Magnus. He'd know what to do with it.
No. I'll move towards Magnus.
Magnus has the letter in his hand and has probably just started folding it up again. Sister?
I see you have the letter. I suspect I don't have to tell you this, but probably best to tell his little sister that Sergeant Kroon died heroically in battle, and not, well, how he died.
Well, sister, you see, you essentially forgave him of his sins. You understand that, don't you? If I had killed him and deemed him a traitor, well, his sister would very much be in danger as well right now. The fact that you took on that role and absolved him of his sins, he can be considered a hero, and he died with the Emperor's mercy, protecting the Imperium. So I think that considering you gave him that right, you should probably hold on to this and ensure that a letter does get sent. Magnus hands the letter to Sister Attila.
Take the letter, give a saddened smile, almost. Okay, Magnus. I will strive to do this. Also, maybe it's just this planet, or maybe it's something else, but Sergeant Kroon's, well, my findings tell me that that body might have died before I actually shot him. Maybe it's the time dilation of this planet, I do not know, but hopefully this is the last time I will see Sergeant Kroon, but something tells me this may not have not been the last time?
Well, we'll be sure to burn the remains that we have here, and at least that way we have some idea that he's not coming back. I hope.
Let's hope so. Oh, and Magnus, if I die, please scatter my ashes on my world. I'll give a small sudden bow, and I'll go smoke a low stick alone.
Magnus won't answer, but as he turns away, again lighting another low stick and like checking over the area, and probably moving Sergeant Kroon's corpse over to where it will get cremated. He will mutter that there's no way I can keep that promise.
No, just shoot my ashes towards the sky then, in space.
Hey, I'm the frontline fighter. If anyone's going to go down first, it's me. But Magnus will move the body over to where it's going to be burned.
As soon as I see you're moving the body, I'll help you.
And if no one objects, Magnus, I guess we'll just... Can I just stand here and do a point blank? But
I mean, he can't dodge, so technically you hit no matter what, provided you don't roll a 9.
Good point. I will... Oh, bollocks. I've got to roll a 9.
Yeah, if you roll a 9 on your damage dice, you'll flame of jams. That's it.
Okay. I will tell Sister Felicia to back up. I pull out my flamer. Now I haven't. Actually, that will do. I'll roll the damage for my suppression shield, and hope that we don't get a 9.
While we're doing this, can I try and fix the conversion field that Yanka had?
Dang.
You can attempt to have a look at that conversion field, yes.
The Emperor has definitely absolved him of his sins and given me a righteous fury for setting his remains alight. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to quickly check.
It's a -30 tech use to repair one.
Okay, you already checked. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to check, it's page 170.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
above.
you did. You did insert the minus. You managed to quickly redo some of the wires and repair it.
And can I make it look not like it belongs to the Raikkones anymore? Like with the remaining degrees of success, like it just doesn't.
You rip off the symbol for House Raikkonen and just put a regular casing on it. Yeah. That shit now no longer looks ornate. It looks like... Yeah.
I've repaired a conversion field. Does anyone feel it'd be in their best interests to use one?
It's also, for all of you, it's nighttime now, just so you know.
we are quite close to our ship and the crashed ship. Admittedly, we are roasting human flesh, so maybe.
I mean, we could attract the local wildlife.
Well, so long as demons don't come over, we should be fine.
Also, does anyone respond to the fact Felicia's just informed you all she's repaired a conversion field?
I was muted, so I would look at her and say, so long as nobody wants it, and so long as that thing isn't away, I could use one.
Magnus already has one.
I'm pretty sure Little is the only one that doesn't have one.
No, it's literally Magnus the only one who has a conversion field. Everybody else has a refractor field.
Still, somebody has a type of field. I have none.
You should. We all got one last time.
No, we
No,
only
we didn't.
found like 2 or 3.
Oh.
We didn't get. Not everyone got one, essentially. And I think Attila was the one who missed out because she had her sororitas power armor at the time.
Oh.
Yeah, I abdicated my pick over it.
Well, if Sarah does not want it, I plan to use it myself. However, I have this, and Felicia will get out the refractor field. Sarah, do you feel you need the conversion field?
I already have one. I have no need for a spare.
You have a conversion field?
Which one is the
Well,
better one again?
I have
Conversion
this, and I'm gonna hold out my refractor field.
That's a refractor field. A conversion field is what Magnus uses.
I will stick with my current one. It has not failed me yet.
Alright then. And if Latilla has no complaints, Felicia will hand over her refractor field.
No complaints from me. I'll just add a refractor field.
As you
Thank
are
you,
equipped
Felicia.
with your extremely advanced armor, I feel you've got better protection if the field fails than me. You'll note Felicia still doesn't have a helmet.
I'll just say, I have no complaints. Thank you.
Now to change my macro. What quality is the conversion field?
Regular.
Okay, thank you. I need to quickly put in overload.
Okay.
And then Felicia takes stock of everything we've got and probably notices the rations have now turned to dust.
Only the ones on the ship, the ones that Magnus offloaded to Ulftane and his group.
Doesn't that mean we have like 2 rations?
No, Magnus didn't think, anything of the rations. So he was like, look, here you go, here's a couple of boxes. And
Hasn't all of our rations
On the
rotted
ship.
away?
on the ship, yes.
Oh,
But the ones that Magnus left behind to take off your 2 extras are still good. So,
true.
and Magnus, they're bloody field rations. So Magnus wasn't like, oh, these are something we need to hold on to. So he was like, here you go, here, have a load of rations. We'll take 2 of your people, and we'll bring back more rations.
So it was Felicia's rations that went bad.
All the ones on the ship, basically, on the lander, they're all gone.
That's concerning. The rations appear to have... And then Felicia just kind of picks up what used to be a block as it falls apart.
What in the Emperor's name would do that to the... I thought these things were indestructible, but... Well, I offloaded some, so... Where's the old man? I'll go have a word with him. Magnus,
I seem just like Ulftane stood at the bottom of the ramp at this point, like he doesn't know what he's doing.
How does a refractor field work?
You roll, and if you get under 30, it ignores the damage. But while you've got it on, you've got a minus 20 to stealth.
Gotcha.
And if it hits a 1, then it overloads. Or it's between 1 and some, like, 3.
Because it's common refract field, it's 1 and 10. So if it rolls between a 1 and a 10, it overloads, and I have to roll a minus 30 test to fix it. If you have a best quality, it only overloads on a 1, which is great.
So as Magnus leaves the lander, because it was going to be the safest place to stay overnight, he looks round. Does he see old man Ulftane? Well, do I know No, I think I only know him as Old Man.
I thought he'd given us his name now.
No, he did, didn't he? He did give his name, yeah. So,
Yeah, he did tell you all his name was Ortane.
Yep.
So as I look round, where's Ulftane? Do I see him?
He's probably just like near the lander, but he probably feels a bit uneasy being on one, so he's just sort of like not on it yet.
Oh, there you are, Ulftane. Look, apologies for what happened over there, but anyway, something happened to our rations. I'm not sure how, but they've been destroyed by something. I was hoping we could partake in the ones that we left behind, and in return, you can all stay in the lander. It's got power and heating and such.
I'll just look at you and say, it's not really an issue.
It's got aircon as well. And Magnus kind of smiles a little bit smirkly. And plus, you can bring your people in as well. We gotta work together at this moment anyway.
Well, I can't really say no without being attacked, can I?
Oh, well, we won't attack you, but if you do get attacked and we haven't eaten and become weak and useless, well then, we're not going to be able to protect you and yours. So, by spreading the wealth, we stay strong and we can get off this hellhole at one point.
When he said that, by the way, it was sort of like a joke, but you probably wouldn't be able to tell if it was or not. And I just sort of shrug at you.
I'll take that as a yes then. So, you lead your way to the supplies and I'll help you carry them over, and we'll tell your people that they can come back in the ship. I think the extras went in the crashed ship. I can't remember.
They're somewhere, and probably making plumes of fire. Because one of them likes fire, and purifying things with fire.
And Magnus will go on the microbead and, Bro Felicia, is there any way you can keep the auger rays active? Just ping every, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Just give us an idea if anything's coming closer.
How's the ship doing for power and fuel?
It's doing well on fuel. Before you, when you stole the ship, it was completely refueled, so it's not full of fuel anymore, but it's got a decent amount of fuel still in it. And power, also doing well.
Can I charge the ship using the aluminum capacitors if it runs out of power?
You can't charge it fully, but you can give it a sort of emergency power. It will not be able to restore full function to the ship, but it will be able to restore relatively good amount of it.
Okay. I keep it running for a short while, but too long, and I'll have to empty out all remaining power stores just to turn it back on again.
Well, I'm only talking about sporadic power usage. I mean,
That should be more than possible then.
okay. Well, we're bringing some extra tag-alongs, and we'll bring some of the food into the ship. I don't know what destroyed the last lot of rations, but it will probably be good to split what we've got. fact, I imagine Magnus would talk to old man Ulftane, just like, have you ever heard of anything that would destroy Imperial Guard rations? I thought that was an impossibility.
I just sort of happens to say yes.
Oh, really now? Well, now, what? Do tell. Do tell. Don't leave a gentleman hanging here.
I won't tell you.
Could I
Well, for another
try
time,
to-
I guess.
Could I try to roll something to see if I would know?
Sure.
What would I roll though? Logic?
Warp.
Warp, okay. Nope.
So then Magnus goes off to get rations. Felicia continues taking inventory and occasionally scanning for hostiles using the ship. What does everyone else do? A lot, except Ulftane, who's taking Magnus to go get rations.
I forget, do I know if there's a psyker on board there?
There's not a psyker on board our ship.
Yeah. I mean, the only psychers are those you gave us when we were going away and we
Yeah, your
back,
entire,
so...
your entire group is psychers. No one else is. One of them's an untouchable, which you definitely know.
Yeah, I imagine I would, like, go to help you with rations and then I would, like, remember that you don't really stand my presence for reasons, and then I would just relegate myself to something else.
Yeah, you'd see a lot of
Probably
big, it's
study-
like, why are you doing this on purpose, you fuck?
Language!
It's along the lines of he has no soul. He counts as fellowship 1 when Sarah talks to you.
I'm
and
just
vice versa.
gonna observe the barren wasteland that is this planet.
We have
Is it all you're doing for today, or are you gonna take like a rest or watch after this, or?
Sarah,
Yes?
are you taking a watch after you've done whatever you're doing, or vice
Yeah,
versa?
I'm
This
taking
was-
the watch.
This was very much just the party in general. After you're all done, it's already nighttime. Are you gonna go sleep with maybe a watch?
I assume we'll take turns watching a couple of hours.
Okay, let me roll if something happens to them. Nope.
That's good. Throughout the night, do we have any plans for getting a transmission out?
Oh, we could try the wreck.
If the systems are working, we might have a chance. But the communication systems would still have to be online. This is during the night after you've all gotten back. This. And like Felicia's trying to figure out how can we get a message out.
We should be prepared that we will have to survive on this world for months, if not years.
How far can the lander's Vox transmission go? And how far could a ship like that get in real space? Could we get the word out at least?
If we were in the sky when our fellowships arrived and we had backup, Perhaps, but at the same time, we'd have to have conserved fuel until then, and then made it up to the sky.
Okay then, so 1,000 years from now?
I don't think any one of us would survive that long.
Okay. So the land is out. We can't use that, but we've got a crashed ship here. It seems to still have its now what the Geller fields seem to keep coming on and off, so it obviously has power. So is there any way we could salvage the systems or do something with that?
If the communication systems are not damaged beyond repair, I might be able to make a fix and rig it so that the machine spirit continuously broadcasts a warning message. It wouldn't hold up if they had the presence of mind to blow up the ship, but it at least give us time with a fixed message and possibly a distraction.
Okay. So we can at least make a warning beacon, perhaps get the word out eventually. My only worry with that plan is that it would also be a target for those above to just fire it down upon us.
Magnus,
But it's a good idea.
it is not those above we should be worried about.
I know we have many worries at this moment. So the Lumen character, he mentioned there were 2 other ways, but he also mentioned that third one. Now, the idea of working with powers on this planet is one thing. I mean, saving the God Emperor's son, that's weighing heavily on my mind, but with just us, and Magnus kind of looks around, I fear that that would be an impossibility.
Oh, not in agreement.
Loath as I am to say that, this is something way beyond our capabilities.
Don't get me wrong now, I would love to perform this feat, but my bravado would at least, we'd need the numbers. I'd love to attempt it, but I think it's better if we were to get the word out so that we could come back with an Imperial regiment or the Blessed Astartes or something more than us. So we need to get off this planet. Number 1 priority.
Well, sounds like that's gonna be up to a waiting game.
What if? Could this ship still, the crash ship, could it still fire weapons? Are there any weapons that we could target Miss Alona's ship? There is a ship up there and we could board it.
Are you suggest?
Smile and said, although I do love the idea of blowing up Miss Alona's ship, how would that help us?
So, if it had torpedoes, if it had missiles, if it had weapons that we could fire from, like, batteries or some such, better. But if we had the explosives, technically, we take them up into space. Getting them off the shuttle would have to be something I leave up to my Mechanicus friend. But we could create a diversion, something that we could get close to the ship, and instead of running this time, we take it over. I've slept on this, and I don't like the idea of working with...
Say we do get on board the ship after the distraction. What then, Magnus? We're severely outnumbered, and they have those freaks they call... What did you call it?
You merely have to
Cyber
reach the astropath.
Gene Stealer? Yes, but... do we even know if the astropath is still alive? Sergeant Kroon himself said before he died that all lives were expendable.
Then the
His life
navigator.
most likely was too.
They will have an astropath. Communication over long distances requires it as much as I dislike saying it.
Or that we can
Good.
access the navigator. That gives us operation of the ship if we can take the bridge. We could lock down the ship from the bridge, and we know where the docking bay is for that ship. I don't like the idea of working with these other powers on this world, or the ones above for that matter. It all sounds... Lumen gave a good speech about it, but...
Who's often around us?
We're all kind of grouped up at the moment, I think, because it's probably during one of our watches, but we're all kind of talking about this at the moment.
Tell me, old man. Did you and your crew explore this fallen cruiser?
Hey, Oaftane, wake your ass up.
So for now, Octane's making small snoring noises as he's falling asleep.
Pity that the only one who experienced in void combat had his head blown off.
I can pilot a ship, you know.
No offense, but you ain't no navy.
Yeah, you're no ace pilot either.
Could you, remind me, where did this ship come from? Because when I asked the interrogator for a ship, he said... Brother Felicia, would you mind deactivating the servitor pilot?
I
believe...
assume it's offline to say power at the moment.
Yeah, Magnus would be like completely cut it off from the systems. I think this ship came from Miss Alona. And I'd hate to think that pilot there can take over the ship's systems. Or perhaps... Sister, is there any way, brother, is there any way of you, reading what the, servitor's programs are? Could you get it to activate a distress beat, like a self-homing? Could it fly back to the previous dock that it came from?
If the existing changes I've made to programming to allow it to obey my orders could do so, I shall try. And I'll go attempt to see, like, can I do this with the servitor? I'm not going to activate it, but I'm going to see if it's an option.
You can attempt to alter its code, yes.
Tech use then.
Tell me, wouldn't that end up screwing that plan even worse? If they check the drone, or even if they blow it out of the sky, we just lost shelter, food, and a potential gunship.
Then, Sister Latilla, please bring another set of eyes to the table and tell us what our options are.
Well, for one, I wish we could explore that ship up there, a crashed one, to see if it has any SOS beacon. Other than that, well, I guess your plan is as good as any.
So do I manage to rewire the servitor to do whatever I need it to do?
Yeah, you've worked with servitors plenty before in the past, and this one, although it has a specialization for piloting, you can easily alter those functions should you wish.
Also, a bit off topic, but did I realise what Yinka's medals were for? I did pass the heraldry test.
Yeah. So, you created Yinka. What were his medals for?
Just turn it around.
Bravery, duty,
I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know that much about the Imperial Navy.
Okay, We're going to very quickly say then that he had one for a certain amount of years of service, and he had one for distinguished service, which is usually given after some sort of heroic act.
Okay. Just needed to know that info, sorry.
And he also had a very recent one that was not of Imperial Navy origins, but again denoted something like distinguished service.
Would I be able to put 2 and 2 together and go, yeah, it's a House Raccoon one?
No, the last one was a inquisitorial one.
Ah, okay. Okay.
So, you want to get these distress beacons? That's not a bad idea. Do any of us know if a ship like that would have these beacons?
I don't actually know. I assume void ships have distress beacons, right?
I mean, they should have.
I mean, as mechanics, I probably should know, but as a player, I don't.
Because here's the thing, and Magnus is looking at Latilla. Going in there and trying to find these, I have no idea where they'd be stored. And we're talking about a wreck as well, so everything's mashed up to hell.
I'll take a puff out of my low stick and say, "Oh," and I'll look at straight to Felicia and say, "Felicia might know. She's a mechanicus."
Question, just what exactly the size of the ship are we talking to? This is out of character. Like, because we are talking about the crashed ship, right?
Yeah.
How big is it?
Cruiser.
So, a decently sized hive.
Yeah.
Even
Oh,
if I
I've read
did know-
enough Old Guardsman Party to know where this is heading.
Even
Yeah.
if I knew how much, where it was in the ship, it'd take us possibly days to find it, and that's if it is in the location that I think.
No, it's just an option. Our options seem to go either heretical or suicidal anyway. The more options we have, the
Speaking of
merrier.
suicidal, how close could we get to the ship from our ship without just dying instantly, do you reckon? They did
Wow.
say something about him being important to them, and then I point at Magnus.
Not
Yes.
anymore, apparently.
Except according to the former Sergeant Kroon, as of a month or two ago, he is no longer necessary.
That
had-
was a day or two ago.
Oh,
If
sorry.
they had a
Later.
reason to launch another lander, we may be able to disguise our lander as the one that was launched, returning under damage under pretense of a technical fault or something similar.
Well, let's just look at the facts for the moment. They haven't sent any more ships down. In fact, the last ships they sent were escorting us, and look what happened to them. I would theorize that they don't know what's going on down here at all. Now, it's possible that they're fighting with the station. That's what I'd like to think. But we don't know from down here. So, what I'm suggesting is going up and having a look. If we can get the servitor to fly us back, they'll be able to read that. It's the servitor flying back.
Actually, is it possible to control the server remotely?
I assume Felicia at that moment just kind of speaks up an activation command in binary. The servitor turns on, then she turns it back off again.
As in, could you fly the drone up to the station, which we most definitely do not want to board, and control the servitor up there? And if you need more juice, possibly from the big ship?
The servitor communicates by itself. It flies the ship itself. If I wish to control the servitor from remotely, as you put it, I would need to give it orders through a Voxcaster. And then I'd have to hope that they don't attempt to countermand my orders with someone who has higher authority than what I can give myself.
Well, I'm just thinking along the lines that we do not want to be plagued by the heretics up top, but the servitor should have no problem. He only needs to go in on one-way journey. If we can talk to whoever's up there and make them send a distress beacon to the Imperium for us, well, we'd be safe from the plague, and we can, well, eliminate the station at a later date.
I somehow very much doubt that they're gonna just send a distress signal for us. From what we were told by Sister Felicia, nope, hang on, Sister Sarah, I think that boat is long past. Plus, we would be losing our only means of transport on this planet.
I mean, Umbra or Lumen did say they were a trader space station, didn't he? Traders, well, they trade.
And what do we have to trade?
Maybe something on this planet. I do not know. Honestly, this is revolting to my core, but if that would mean we could all live to fight another day. Besides,
Did we ever see the maps of where the system is relative to the rest of the Imperium?
Not
Out
as
of
far as
character.
I know.
and besides, I'd be willing to risk a lot to make sure the Empire knows that we may have found a patriarch.
Out of character, when you do short distance, like system to system communications, you can use like the 40k equivalent of the Vox for ships, right? Like, it's why I used to daisy chain it so much.
I believe you can. I think a ship's Vox can travel in systems.
I didn't know that because, as far as I was aware, the Empire's technology was so shitty that the only way to communicate was with the Nine dudes. Forgot the name.
Oh no, it's like, effectively, you're lucky if you get distance from Sol to our closest system, but I think you can do it. It's just really slow.
Yeah, it's system to system, so it's like from one star to another star kind of
Still that-
distances. Whereas
That-
astropaths can do it from one part of space of the galaxy to another part of the galaxy on opposite sides,
but-
I think.
That's still a really good option if we do acquire it.
Yeah, so this is the issue I'm seeing, is the only way we can get a message off world is to trust two groups that both are higher powers and are incredibly dangerous and apparently have something to do with the demons and not good. The space station is Nurgle heaven, not good. So after sleeping on it, Magnus thinks that actually our best choice is probably to go and fight the humans on the ship.
Altane's just been thinking this whole time. He goes, well, if anyone wants to think of a plan, I'll just let you know. I can teleport roughly a couple of miles.
Magnus
All of
turns
us.
and stares at him. Are y'all telling me you could teleport us from this ship into the bridge of Miss Alona's ship?
Correction, Magnus. He could teleport you.
Yeah, hang
Not
on.
all of us. It's like a gate. You walk through it.
So we could fly this ship up under servitor power, and then whilst we're in this ship, you could do your hocus pocus, and we could capture the bridge in one fell swoop. People, this
After you
could-
say hocus pocus, I have like a little smile on my face, and I sort of wave my arms around.
Well,
Be wor-
you're gonna be capturing it one man short then.
Why is that? I mean, so far this looks like
You
the plan of
know-
the greatest success.
Look, you know
Sister
what I
Sarah,
am. I imagine that the moment I even touch or get near that gate, it's gonna collapse. And
Ah, God.
if I know anything about the
God, the
warp,
Emperor.
you don't want to be caught inside that gate when it does.
To be a is to roll I could do to see if that would be a viable thing.
You can.
Would
Do I
that-
roll infused
how
knowledge or
about-
forbidden law tech?
How about we do a strike team in the lander, and then we send half the party into the bridge to try and secure it. You know, we have extra people now.
I'll sort of just make a statement and say, there's a small chance it fails the further you push it. That gets bigger when like the further you push it.
Oh no, this was
So-
the Vox system to system
Ah.
thing. Check.
Oh,
Are you telling me that if
Heck.
it fails, we could appear somewhere not intended?
Forbidden
As in,
law.
could we appear in a wall, or even worse, outside in hard space?
No, like I just can't open it. Like nothing will happen.
I'm
It's
gonna
fine.
cock my head. If no offense, but I still think the Voxcaster from the big ship is still a better option.
Well, you know, we can do many of these options. I guess we've got time, but we have the combat option available to us now. That's important. Let's not stray away from such a thing. But if we can get the message out through Vox, then by all means it's a good idea. But let's just be ready to exit quickly. I imagine they will be able to lock on to that Vox transmission.
Doing some thinking, even if the ship had such a thing, which is usually relegated to planetary installations. We'd be lucky if it had survived the crash. It'd be very delicate to have been miniaturized so much, possibly even archaeotech.
Oh, I'd still want to know if that thing is still operational up there, or if it's just, even if it just needs juice. I still think it's the safest option as of right now.
So, Glorious GM, how fucked is that crashed ship? Like, is its back broken and in multiple pieces, just clinging on to existence?
The entire front section appears to have been entirely obliterated when it hit the mountain it crashed into. Also, when the fuck are you finally going to sleep?
I assume that about now we all go into
Away
our
with
watch.
your time skip, there's planning to do.
Okay, and so because none of our characters are having anything, they all do their watches and have their rest. Because otherwise we're going to be sat here trying to come up with a plan and we won't have any events or anything.
Fair enough.
So is that a fate point back because we slept?
That's one
Yeah.
per session, isn't it?
Yeah, that's one position.
Okay.
It's why I didn't re-roll the scrutiny test. I've tried to get back up to good points.
So, am I allowed to time skip?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
No, just kidding.
Maybe.
Morning comes again then. You will wake up varying times. The person at the last watch is allowed to go back to sleep again for a bit. And when the sun is decently up, like it's convincingly daylight, you see a winged figure come up from the sky towards you again.
I'm already awake. I'll point my gun, and if I see that it's actually Lemon and not Umbra, I'll lower the weapon, but not before that, because, you know.
The wings appear white. His weapon is not drawn.
Yeah, we were talking it over last night. So what kind of options can you bring to the table? You're talking about. To be honest, your whole idea about saving the God Emperor's son. Well, I slept on it, and we don't have enough people here. But if we can get the message out, I know we could bring reinforcements that you could never imagine. Many would happily take on this crusade, myself included. But at the moment, we don't have the manpower.
I know the amount of manpower that can be mustered for such a crusade. The issue is not the lack of manpower, it is the opponent that must be faced and how quickly most of the manpower that would be gathered would crumble before the foes. Nor the fact that if we drew too much attention to Lorgar's plans, that perhaps his captors would put more restrictions on him.
Here's the other problem. Say we do go just ourselves and we do save him. What then? We have no plan and no way of getting out of this rock.
Well, in order to save them, we first need to get off this rock. I never said that we could save him from this location.
Our first priority is still to find a way out.
I must say though, I observed something odd last night. I retained some of my memories as my darkest self, but
Kind of, in broad strokes, describe the Gene Stealer Patriarch. Say, did it look like this?
yes, but not the creature itself, but what it was doing.
Oh,
Let
don't
me
tell.
guess.
It's gonna be a
Spreading.
demon gene stealer now. That's not a subject to jest about, Oftane. You have not seen what those things can do in their regular form.
I have seen it able to slay demons with ease, but what I saw it do last night was different.
Tell me, what was it doing, please, and please, for the
For
love
a
of
second,
the Almighty God Emperor, tell
For a
me he did not
sec-
breed.
for a second, it almost appeared as if it had some form of control over one of its assailants. It
Ah,
did not
fuck.
last, but
Fuck.
Language.
I do not know
Sarah.
what these creatures are capable of, but if it is somehow capable of physically corrupting a demon,
Well, to put it simply, he is
Mm,
trying to infect.
Corporaptor hominy check?
um,
I
you
think we're
may
all well aware by now, wouldn't we be?
you may
Yeah.
roll that, but this is at a -40.
Do I get plus 10 from the book?
You get +10 from the book, but that would still make the test a -30.
Don't we already know that these creatures infect other people? We had a
Yes,
whole
other
lecture.
people, but
Come at me. Gimme.
there is a specific mention that gene stealers can come from different hive fleets, which can evolve to counter specific threats.
So basically, Sarah is just unchaining the book, laying it on the ground, and she starts thumbing through it to where she thinks she saw that.
Sister Sarah, for the love
Here.
of Almighty Christ, do not place that holy book on the fucking floor.
Shh! Quiet. Here. It is written that these creatures are not all alike, that they may come from different hive fleets.
We need to kill it.
The Magister here written that the hive fleets are highly adaptable and they can adapt with ease to counter a very specific threat. It doesn't mention the hive fleet by name, but
If it's adapting
would
to
be
the...
possible that a hive fleet would evolve to deal with demonic enemies?
And if it was adapting to fight them, it'd make it even more of a threat to everyone in general. We need to kill it before it can finish adapting.
No argument from me.
It may
Last
even
thing, last thing we need on this planet is Gene Stealer cult.
Almighty Emperor, please
if
give
we
me...
kill it and can successfully destroy the body, they won't have a reason to come looking for it anymore.
Well,
Almighty
May I-
God
may
There
I
Emperor.
is
point-
not.
May I
Yes.
put a point out? This broodlord that we need to dispatch ASAP. It's killing these things left, right, and center. It's probably going to kill us, so at least some of us. So would it be an idea to have our and Magnus will gesture to Lumin, our friend here, to aid us in commandeering that vessel in the sky first during the day? I mean, how much of a beatdown can you take, Lumin?
Well, there is a tricky thing to that. Technically, I can no longer be killed, but
Marvelous. Can you travel
There-
through? And Magnus looks to
there is
Octane.
an issue with that, however. If my current form dies, the other one takes over.
Oh, that would be.
Permanently or
Suboptimal.
just for a while?
Not permanently, and technically the effect can be worked both ways if it is not yet nighttime, but
So, question.
so-
Could we go up in our ship just before nighttime sets in, and then our friend here, Ulftane, does his gate? We send you over to the other ship, you cause havoc, and then if you die, then you're the light lumen, and you're
What?
lumen, and then
One question, Magnus.
yes.
You are assuming that his condition is relative to this planet. up there is no concept of day and night.
I
It's
am
just only the
hoping.
concept which we make of it.
I am hoping that, sister. Yes, that he's linked to this planet in its day and night cycles. But at the moment, we need to get the message out, and that's our main priority. At least that's how I feel. And if we have that ship up there, we can send the message out. And then we can take out the creature knowing at least Gregorius knows.
Are you sure Ilona wouldn't kill her own astropath just to stop us? She seems pretty hell-bent on whatever she was doing.
We can almost teleport anywhere on that ship. Yeah.
A small question I have, though. How are you so certain that ship is still in system, or not making its way out?
That is another point.
I imagine she's still up there. My gut tells me that she's still up there.
You think she's still harboring a grudge?
Oh no, she's a pragmatic woman. She's looking at this as an investment. She came to this system, she sent out the word for reinforcements. I know that much to be sure, but she won't leave this prize. Not now. She has to stake claim on it until the other ships arrive, otherwise, well, they could take credit.
I don't think House Raikkonen will get a claim to this planet. No matter which way you cut it, this is the demon world.
But she
Those
wants
are not
it.
given away.
She wants it.
Well, it's a few ways it can go. Either she's selling a tale to our interrogator, which would only trigger a reprisal from the Inquisition, or at least another scouting party, or she's still up here plotting. Either way, the interrogator will lose his patience eventually and wonder why we failed to check in.
And how long do you think we'll be dead before that happens? Before he sends another party or another ship?
Depends.
Well, look, it's a group decision. I'm not gonna force y'all to do anything, but I honestly think taking the ship first is at least our best option. Because she can't kill the navigator. So if we have the ship, we can take our asses back to another system. Send the warning out first. Come back. But if we just sit around down here, if we go after that thing, I'm worried too many of us will die before, we won't be able to take the ship back then. We don't have proper medical facilities to sustain heavy injuries down here.
Mm-hmm.
So all aboard the ship train?
It's the best option we've got.
This is the plan we are going with. We are going to see if the vessel you came into system with is still there and attempt to take it over.
Yes.
We have a few other possible plans aside from going with that, which could make us unable to do our tasks.
She cannot leave the system. She has an opponent right here. Well, and Sarah will look at the sky. Right there. The station, remember?
How so?
Well, before we were forced down onto the planet, we were contacted by someone claiming to be Lord Roth, a previous owner of the system. She would
Lord-
have to silence him first in order to stake his claim.
Lord
Her claim.
Roth is not on board that station.
No?
Lord Roth is a commander down here on the planet. He is, as far as all what I've been able to figure out about this world and its history, the person who turned this world into what it is today. Perhaps he bought a service from the station above, but he does not own it, nor does he claim ownership over it as far as I'm aware.
He still claims ownership of this planet.
That he still does, in the name of his new master.
Either way, so long as he lives, Raikon's claim would be in dispute. Though, if it was Roth that plunged the world into madness, then he would be most likely proclaimed excommunicati traitors, which helps us very little. Looks like we are stuck between two rogue traitors and a gene stealer in the middle. Not counting the bunch of bloodthirsty demons.
I truly do not know what other options we have.
All of our
The ri-
options seem either to be suicidal or just waiting.
The issue with both sides of this conflict, if you were to approach them, is that whilst one would fully commit to honor, they would also wish to fully commit us to a war, or cause us, or have us cause wars. Whereas the others, honor is not something they fully know of, or at least not something they value. They would have us included in one of their schemes in exchange for our passage of this world.
So, it's either suicide or eternal damnation playing demonic politics.
Well, to be fair, this House Raikkonen you keep speaking of, you suspect it is heretical in its entirety. If news of that comes out, the Imperium will no doubt wage war upon it.
Well, we do not know if its entirety, but we suspect the upper echelons. Which I imagine might be as good as the entirety.
In that case, that would most likely cause some form of war, some form of bloodshed.
Problem is, Raikkon's ready for war. He made a show of force last time we worked together.
That will perhaps entice them more to give us passage of this world. If passage of this world means that it can be used as a source of conflict, as well as a recognition of your martial prowess over his servants, perhaps he will find us a way off this world. The servants of the Blood God may be bloodthirsty berserkers, but it's more intelligence servants Also, practice the value of honor. For there is no rightness in bloodshed. If you stabbed someone in the back, they praise battle, not murder.
I thought that the blood got cared not from hence the blood flows.
He prefers, as far as my sources go, it to be earned in battle, not by murder. Murder does not evoke the emotions he needs.
So, this all sounds very heretical to me, but yet again, it's all going over my head, so I would put forth that if we need passage, if this is something we have to have, we are about to go up to a spaceship and do an awful lot of killing of quite powerful soldiers. There's going to be a lot of blood spilled by a lot of warriors. Would that help? When Magnus says that, he actually feels like someone's walked on his grave, and it's like he feels a little bit sick. It's like,
Perhaps.
Altain just sort of nods a little bit, but knows that the answer's supposed to be no.
Perhaps.
Well, if we had the ship, then we no need to play into the blood god's humors. We're in the intersection between bad and worse.
Yes. I have stated to you before the concept of the Emperor's warp-born servants, have I not?
I don't believe you did.
I actually believe he mentioned it last time, but the issue we have there is
It would require you to be at your last breath, at your last men.
yeah, and I'm not prepared to allow that to happen to my people. I would rather go out in a blaze of glory, fighting to have at least 10%, 20% chance of fighting till we're all gone and dying.
Perhaps
Yeah.
a fight on that vessel would allow the Emperor to send us a last hope.
If we attempt to do at least good by the machine spirits, I know the Omnisire would grant us his blessings and cause the others to suffer.
This is pretty tall order. We're talking about nothing short than summoning a living saint.
Yeah?
I honestly recommend we do a two-pronged assault. Sister Sarah, you can come with us through the portal. Fine. We can't leave you alone on this ship.
Magnus, I can stay on the ship and keep it piloting. Me and Sister Sarah could make it to one of the docks. I would be unable to leave immediately and would have to find my own way aboard. But if Sarah can get to one of the bays, I'm sure she can enter.
And then we'll have the other two.
How are you even planning on getting on board this ship?
Magnus,
On the
Magnus,
wings of prayer,
Magnus
my
puts his
friend.
hand over Overtain's shoulder. Well, this man said he could get us on board, didn't you?
Altain just sort of has like a bit of a fuck smirk.
I sense you are powerful, but if you are capable of manifesting such a power, perhaps she could pass through. There is the possibility that if she is the last who goes through, or second to last, she might be able to.
It's been a long time since I've seen someone like her, and I'm kind of grateful because of both experiences, but hang on, that retcon that. I just realised that I've spent like loads of time with her on the planet.
If she's the second to last one through, I can remain with the servitor and then leave just after her. If that way, if it closes and we get stranded, I'm able to find us another way aboard using control of the servitor. Better we get a better that two of us end up stranded on a ship that at least has some form of maneuverability than all of us end up stranded and separated.
I believe the last one through has to be Mr. Overtain himself. Isn't that right? At least that's the feeling I'm getting in my guts. So. Which means if Sister Sarah goes through and it collapses, I'm sorry, Sister Sarah. Don't know what happens to you, but no one would be, only one would be lost. Or would you make it through, or would it collapse? Magnus kind of starts thinking about it and then realizes how low his intelligence is and just takes out another low stick.
I have absolutely no idea what would become of me.
That's
Maybe I would be
hard.
stranded in the Immaterium. Maybe I would just cease to exist. Only the Emperor knows for certain.
That's thinking too hard. Gets a headache.
Let's see.
But I apologize, but this plan at least has, in my eyes anyway, it has a chance of success and less dealing with things that shouldn't be dealt with. Although Vidar's gonna be a son of a bitch to take down.
Who?
Or is it Vidaire? Might have been Vidaire.
One of
There,
those.
General over there. Assuming he's even on alone a ship. He came in with the rogue trader himself, after all.
Hopefully he's not.
And
The
I
less
don't
problems
recall
they have
him
along the
boarding
way,
with us.
the less
Also-
problems we have along the way, the merrier, but...
Question,
I
Jay.
don't know.
Would I know anything about that ship, which is the reason that we got flung down to the planet? Because I've had 40 years on the planet, plus, and I have archaeotech.
What exactly are you implying?
Like, that ship might have some forbidden technologies?
The crashed ship, you mean, right?
No, the ship on the, in space that got us flung to the planet.
The station. You haven't been able to really research that, but you'd guess there is there's some archaeotech. At least there's at least some technology still there. Probably. I mean, Lumen says they're producing war machines. There must be some technology there.
Fair play.
Now, also, a bit of a question. In order for Ulftain to open the gate onto the bridge of Alona's ship, he needs to know that location. As in, having seen it on a map. having
Allow
been
me to
there before.
reference that.
My data slate should have at the very least a map of at least part of the ship. Wouldn't be the bridge, because I don't think I ever got to go through the bridge. But I know that when I was on the ship, I got into their systems multiple times.
Magnus
So
has
I-
been on the bridge. Now, could I allow Ulftain to read my memories of the bridge? And would that be enough for him to be able to...
If he just studied the room in
Hmm,
detail on a map, he would be able to. If
the
he's
Psyker
seen
must
it
be
from
aware of the
stuff-
location in which he is opening the exit to the gate, either having visited it before, seen it from afar, or simply studied it on.
Gate lasts for a number of rounds equal to the Psyker's Psi rating, as the radius of the meat is equal to the Psi Raker's Psi rating as well. For the duration of the power, the two sides of the gate are linked, and any person or objects may pass between them freely, provided they can fit through the gate. there is no mention of untouchables breaking the gate.
From what I can
Yes,
tell, this is
but
actually you're making
But
a
on the same
wormhole.
token, there is no mention that the gate works properly with the untouchables.
I'm actually looking at the power, and it's not actually like the gateway is like a warp portal. No, it's the Psyche uses telekinesis to forcibly make a wormhole, and then the untouchable could pass through that gap because that gap is just nothing. That's just like the event horizon. It wouldn't be anything for the untouchable to disrupt unless they touch the edge of the portal.
Old
I mean-
flashbacks to the film Event Horizon. Oh no, I don't want to do
Oh
it
no,
anymore.
please no.
Oh god, no.
Oh,
Not
no.
that movie.
I mean,
Nope.
we're now at the point where we've decided the plan, so we can do all the crazy. We're going to talk about this stuff out of character now. Because I think this is the plan we've had to settle on.
It's a good plan. I think Sister Sarah should be the last one through, second to last.
Yeah, let make me the last one.
I mean, the reason I'm
Moving
saying
first.
Felicia goes second to last is because Felicia can rewire the servitor if they try to hack it. Or try to give
we
it
only
orders.
have to get within a certain range. So once we're within that range and getting closer to the ship, we bum rush the tunnel and try and surprise them as quickly as possible. Like I said, Lumen first because he doesn't die apparently. So kick you through.
I need to ask, what form of controls over the ship does the bridge have?
Well, normally everything. Like if we
A
want to
priest on the
lock
bridge
something
can vent
down,
the ship.
Exactly my thought.
And I
However,
wish I was
if
kidding
we-
about that.
If we do take over the bridge, can we vent the entire ship except for the bridge?
a good chunk of it, I should imagine.
It'll take time to vent the ship, but probably.
Let's face it. If we take out the upper echelon, there's a very good chance that at least some of the crew are loyal. So once we know that the guards are kicking down the door, we vent the corridors. We close the corridors up. Anyone else kicking down the door? No? Okay then. On comms, who wants to get us the
Yeah.
fuck out of here?
I'm gonna say just to be safe, I'd vent the entire ship, kill every single last one of them, and then get out. But
We need two people, at least. The navigator and the astropath.
Well, technically, we only need the navigator alive.
I was gonna say, no, we need the astropath. We can sit there for ages without a navigator because we can just wait for the next ship to come along. If we have the astropath,
We
we
need
can send
one
a
or
message
the
out.
other. We need one or the other. Let's face it. The
Yeah.
navigator is at least, he shouldn't get corrupted because they need him to be able to fly around. You know, they might treat him like shit, so he's a possibility. The astropath they could technically kill, but then how would they send messages so far? They probably have other ways of doing it, and they can probably corrupt the astropath as well. So,
Also, as a terrible joke, in before it turns out there was a webway inside the middle of the ship, and we could have used that the whole time. As a completely out of character joke.
oh, suicidal mission. I love it.
It's Mass Effect 2 all over again.
like, I would rather have Magnus try and die taking the ship than going up against Gene Stealer demon hybrids.
Me too. I don't know what happened with the ship's communication option, but
The
suicide
crashed
mission is
ship,
better than 9 of.
I rolled to see if it was a viable idea, because I was having Felicia actually think about it, and it's... The stuff to communicate across systems is either really big ships or planetary installed. You can't really... Or you've got like a bunch of single ships sending out the same message at once, so they signal bounce effectively, and then the signal gets out there because of just how much is being sent out.
Okay, I'd say we're going to take a short break.
We're nearly done.
Yeah, but you guys can keep talking, but I'm going to be away for a bit, so
Okay.
short break.
I do.
So, like, Felicia's role meant we couldn't do it unless somehow, miracle of miracles, there was Archaea tech on the crashed ship.
Gotcha.
and we can't bank on a non-existent architect, especially when supplies are low.
And also, Jay did say that Jazina put forward that this crash ship is about the size of a small to medium hive. So with that kind of scale of size, it would literally take us months to explore.
If we got lucky and made it to the habitation areas and they hadn't had their supplies used up immediately, we'd stand a chance. But that's if we got to the habitation in the first visit. Because we wouldn't be able to turn back round once we get even halfway. It's like going down into the Underhive and staying down there. We don't have the supplies for it.
At least in Mass Effect 2, they had more soldiers.
That, and we don't have that many people that we can just burn through.
They also had an actual working ship, so
we have an actual working ship. It's just an itty bitty tiny one.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
It's the shuttle that normally spills out when you go on, planetary missions.
Yeah, we're flying the Kodiak, if you think about it.
Yes, we really are. Only not the military, but the industrial version of Kodiak.
We're flying the Cerberus one. But that one doesn't actually have any guns.
Also, guys, how close do you reckon we could get? Because Gate of Infinity has a -20 modifier.
So we've got to get within 3 kilometers to actually make it usable. Holy crap, that's 3
Is it set in kilometers or miles?
kilometers.
Kilometers,
1 kilometer
yeah.
times psi rating.
So
Yeah.
it's like 2.4 miles or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course, space combat's done in void units, which is hundreds of thousands of miles.
So we would pretty much have to hug Ilona's ship to have any progress whatsoever.
Yeah.
Uh,
Either that or we could just like crash into a landing bay or something and pretend it's autopilot and then just teleport out.
Oh
No,
god.
no, I know what we do. We do the last bullshit Jedi thing where we fly too close so their guns cannot shoot at us. It's brilliant.
How about we
That is
fly
fucking-
as if we're going to go to the landing bay, but then we fly over the landing bay, we keep going, and then we fly up to the windscreen and we turn the ship round so Ulften can look straight in there and.
You just want to flick Ilona off one last time, don't you?
I want to chop her head off. I want her head as a trophy to be like, here you go, my lord. I am not a traitor. I did not care for
You
her.
have a weird fetish with cutting off people's head.
We could
First you wanted to give her Yanka's head as a dowry, then you want to chop off her head,
If you really think about it, we could actually.
and I'm pretty sure you chopped off the head of the last patriarch as well. This is getting you have a problem, Magnus.
Actually, that's just effective if you think about it. Not a problem.
If we really think about it, we've got a fairly good chance of getting close enough anyway, because theoretically, all I need to do is rewire the shuttle. Is pray they don't realize the shuttle is the shuttle they have done the moment they try and open fire on us, and then we don't get hit while we fly in.
So Magnus, his family of knights, they took heads to tell how how well they did. Did they get the general's head? Did they get you showed a head, that person is dead, they're not coming back. So yeah, Magnus is like, right, I want a head. I will give her head to our interrogator, and he will know I did not care about her. I'm loyal here.
One thing.
Yes.
What are the chances at the moment Letla chopped off the implant out of Yanka? What are the chances they know?
Impossible. Volator implants don't work that way. You're rewiring someone's brain. It's why Volator surgery is one of the most dangerous. Like, we were literally doing brain surgery.
And remember, 40k has a really bad problem with being able to communicate over distance. So they probably can't get real-time data about how the patient is doing, if he's still alive, has it gone off. In our world, yes, in 40k world, no.
Plus, at the range they're doing, even in our world, you can't get that kind of info. And the Volator implant is literally like somebody put metal bits to make fake neurons, fake connections, so that when you try and think something, your brain shuts down.
I don't know if I'm having a brain aneurysm or if I'm reading something that's actually true, but is Michael Bay making a movie of Duke Nukem and John Cena is going to be Duke Nukem?
At least it's not fucking
What?
directed by you, Bo.
Oh, it's on Polygon, and Variety, and apparently IMDb.
What the fuck?
I mean, and his name is John Cena.
He's not. I'm just looking at it, and I don't think he's big enough.
Technically, John Cena would fit Duke Nukem, in my honest opinion, because, you know, John Cena, Duke Nukem is basically the asshole.
The personality-wise, he'd be able to
The
do
funny
it.
asshole. But and John Cena is big, dude. Are you nuts? He's like what?
Looking at him side by
6'5"?
side, he could do it. Actually, he's got the face for it. But yeah, the actual thing for a Volator implant is they have cranial surgeons implant neural receptors and artificial nerve routing, and it's through that you can forcibly make it so someone can't do something.
They see
Reversing it is removing all of the stuff, which is really hard, but possible.
one of the reasons why I decided not to interrogate Sergeant Kroon was because I've still got half a metal stake, and I really didn't want to have to cause him that much pain, especially when Latilla went and stood next to him. It was like, okay, so Latilla's still okay, fair enough.
No. The thing is, up here, she was standing there because if push comes to shove, she would draw her weapon and shoot him. But you know, she
You
was
didn't
being
say-
respectful. Dude, come on, you guys know Nutella.
Yeah, but
By now, you people, you of all people should know that she wouldn't stop anyone from, you know, torturing someone else.
I mean, I do find it funny that nobody realized. Like, Felicia wants to kill this guy, so she can guarantee he's still fit for being a servitor. Like, even the Desolate Power Blade, like, it would have done little damage and might have severed his spinal cord, which could be replaced.
See, look, you only torture people who you know, if there's an afterlife, they are coming for you. You know, they are going to look at you with absolute hatred and disgust for the rest of, well, and Magnus doesn't want to see like that look on Sergeant Kroon's face. You know, it's he was meant to be one of the boys, and just because he was a dirty traitor, you know.
Yeah, like I said, I was being respectful, but I wouldn't have stopped anyone from doing anything to Duke. I was just going to give him a merciful and quick death.
Also, yes, Yenka had staples. I'm gonna decide that was how I put him back together again. He got stapled.
Had staples. Now those staples are splattered over many, many parts.
If there are any parts left, it was a fucking boat round.
Yeah, Volator implant's one of the few defenses against psychic powers. Because what happens is even if someone like starts destroying your memory and attacking your mind, the Volator implant will shut your brain down before they can get enough info. It's the moment they make you think about what they want to find. Which is why you can get them for yourself.
So, Juka, would you like to? How was that, having one of your characters taken away like that? Shot by a friend.
I know how it feels, Duka.
We never shot you though.
We did, multiple times actually.
Yeah, you
Did
guys
we?
shot me a lot in the end.
Doesn't
But I
count.
mean-
He was not playing himself at the time.
True.
Neither was Juka.
It was me. But yeah, I understand it. It's not like, oh, I hate you all, you killed Yinka.
What did you think about Latilla's way of doing it, though?
Humane, I guess.
Magnus was going to cut your head off. I'm just going to put that out there now. That was going to be how he did it.
Yeah, if you like gave me a slow, painful death, then I would have just been like, okay, Octane kills him.
Yeah, like none of us had a plan to torture him. Like Felicia would have either been Power X because energy saving, and she can recharge that damn thing. Oh crap! I just realized I've got to recharge your power packs.
Technically, the sisters have only been using their power packs when they've been in combat, and the rest of the time they've had theirs turned off. So they've only used, like, what? At best, like, half an hour.
Something
Yeah, but
along those
I'm gonna have
lines.
to recharge you during the whole we're running through the ship, causing mass destruction.
Oh,
I
no,
do
they've got
have something
24
like
hours. They've
8
got,
hours
no, you've got
left,
the 24 hours, haven't you? The military power packs you guys have got now.
Yeah, but
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
it's
when we
been a
got become
day
sisters?
already. Over a
Did we?
day.
I didn't have mine on the entire time. I will tell you that. Yes.
But
I mean,
even then,
me
like,
neither, but
if we go on
we're
the general
still skirting
assumption
pretty close.
that you couldn't turn it off until we'd landed, you probably still burnt like another hour or two.
Still, it's the military pack plus the other 5-hour pack.
The 5-hour pack you'd have been burning through.
You
Admittedly,
know,
it's a plus 10 toughness test, I think, to recharge a standard power cell. Or just a simple power cell, whatever that is, which I assume is what's in a power armor. And I can recharge both of them without taking fatigue, so that's good.
Yeah, you can slip that off.
I will put it out there. Can we please not have any more annoying names? No more yins for a start. Or kuns.
You know, I love the coon.
The Coon!
If it's that
Next-
and that alone, but not another Sergeant Croon, not another Yinka, or another
Yannick.
I don't know, it depends. Maybe Faye will come in. Just a random, like, 12-year-old's like, hey guys.
Oh, I did like that, by the way. That was good.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it either, but I was like, oh shit, my background. I forgot about that.
Thing is, you know that we're all gonna let you have died a hero. Like, Felicia just wanted you to be a servitor and serve in death, that was it. You were still gonna die a hero.
Thanks, man.
You were just gonna serve in death, and she was gonna tell everyone, you wanted to be a servitor, not, you've been made to serve because you're being punished. She might not be happy you betrayed us, but she's not evil.
You know, Yankee loves them gods and stuff.
Because it wasn't until the very, very end that you thought you'd outright betrayed them. And even then, it was along the lines of, well, he didn't actually try to kill us when our backs were turned, so it's fine.
He tried to
It was
shoot
when-
me in the face.
Yeah, it was when the chips were down and he didn't have a choice. When it was either do it or die.
I pulled a weapon on him and then let the rest of my action go to see what will he do. And he shot at me. That was his response of, I've been cornered. Fuck it, I'll shoot at him.
Yeah, but if you really think about it, you should have been, like, partially deaf for most of the day, because I fired a bolt pistol in a vent.
It was a bit of a
but I
hasty
did-
move
I
on
did
your
chuck-
behalf,
I did
though.
chuck a- I did chuck a stun grenade after him as well.
Yeah.
Duke, I don't think it was that of much of a hasty move when you consider that I was trying to either hit the assassin or blow the vent up so that the assassin couldn't get us.
No, I mean the fact that you go, okay, there's probably someone in this room. My senses have gone off. You don't hear any hatches or anything. You see this big sort of hatch thing that probably makes noise. And you
You
just
forget
dive
I'm
down it instantly. It's
Mechanicus.
like,
I
fucking
know
go!
these things. Plus, I was the one who was just like, let's do this subtly, so we didn't. And then, of course,
Magnus came
Magnus.
stomping his way through. Never! but I caught the sneaky little git.
And I didn't chase you. I went, okay, Magnus is going this way. Let's follow carefully and quietly to see what's going on. And I did actually just plan to follow, and then gunshots. Plus, as Felicia, I actually had reasons to be suspicious of you. It's all there on my secure data slate.
Oh, Magnus did as well, but at the same time, it was like I don't know. That's Sergeant Kroon sneaking around. Someone is sneaking up on us.
It was like somebody's sneaking in. Somebody's sneaking around in here. He slipped out the hatch. Somebody's gone through this hatch. Goes through. Follow him. And then of course Magnus chased after him, and Felicia just kind of followed at a steady pace, trying to keep up with Magnus so he didn't get lost. Because almost that was Felicia's plan, just to follow. If she finds them, she finds them. If not, she finds Magnus.
Small question, guys. Machine trait was toughness, right?
Machine is armor.
Armor, okay.
Yeah, Machine's very unique in that regard. It's just tons of armor and then weaknesses to some electrical weapons.
So it adds the value that is in the parentheses to the armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Machine 4 is 4 armor, and it can't stack with other
No,
armors.
it stacks with worn armor, but if they have natural armor, then the one that's greater counts more. And it can be damaged by fire.
We're gonna get close to Elena's ship. We could just pretend to be trash and then just float towards it.
I
a
say
viable
I
strategy.
say fly up with a distress signal.
I'm gonna be honest. If we manage to get close enough for you to open the gate and us cross through and actually pull this off, that's gonna be a miracle from the God Emperor himself. But you know,
It's gonna be worth the attempt at badassery, and if we fail, we've always got characters on the ground to go deal with the Gene Stealer.
Oh no, I'm thinking about taking all the characters. So 2 of you will have
oh
2
yeah,
extras. But we're not
I don't think we can do
guns
that.
blazing. You know, we need to take the ship, and to do that, yeah, we need maximum manpower.
So, the summary of our options: suicide, brutal suicide, idiotic suicide, particularly long suicide.
Yeah.
We have the opportunity to
There's a-
completely bamboozle them by, as long as they buy the distress signal, we have the chance to bamboozle them by gating into their, or attempting to, gate into their command center, taking them by surprise, cutting the head off the snake, and then, you know, what are most of the peasants going to do on the ship? Your ship is now ours, your leaders are now dead, do what we say, or we'll crash you
Here's the
onto a
thing.
demon world. Anyone
Here's
who
the
tries
thing.
to take us, out into space with you.
See, but
here's the thing though.
you are banking on the fact that they are more afraid of us than of the family.
Also, here's the thing. Why on the signal from their shuttle?
Plus,
The
this
one we
is
stole.
this is
What?
like rogue trader troops, which means they have actual benefits.
So, at the end of the day,
We
if
probably
we're
have
on the
dental.
bridge, we
Yeah.
control everything. If we want, take the bridge, your crew will never become ours. Okay, off with your head. Tech priest, please close this off, vent everything except from the navigator's chamber and the, wherever the fuck the astropath is. They're all gone. Stay on the demon world with gene stealers and they're gonna keep coming.
You know, all I can hear is suicidal path, more suicidal path, heretical path, another heretical path, diseased heretical path, and more suicidal path. So you know, Our options are great.
As long as we die in service of the Omnissiah or in service of the God Emperor, we're good. Anyway,
Very
so
true.
how much XP do we get?
I think Sarah's groan speaks for itself.
Oh no, that was. Please, I want to sleep. I have exams tomorrow.
So on that groan, I will end the stream off there. So thank you everyone for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.